Welcome into SportBet Extra. I'm your host, Paul Rami, here every Monday through Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Central. No show yesterday. We're back today. Scheduling conflict. Hey, look, it happens. We're trying to get a little bit more consistent, but we're here. A lot of great college basketball action already going on, so we'll talk about that. We'll maybe touch on NBA. We'll talk about the conference champions. So if anyone checked out that blog that I've got out, I've got a pick for the Big East, ACC, Big 12, SEC, and Big 10. I think only one of them is kind of the favorite. The others, we took some long shots there. Only 0.25 units we're risking. See if we can hit a nice long shot there to win those tournaments. So we'll be talking about those a little bit today. The rest of the college basketball slate we'll be going over and then talk about yesterday, how we did, how March is going. And look, we're just ready to go. College basketball is here. We're not waiting for March Madness next week. We're just getting all the action in this week. Let's get into the show. Same way we start every show. Let's put up that record, plus 43.18 units there. I've actually got to update college basketball there. It shows 177, 132. We're at 180 and 134 and 3. So college basketball up a little bit there. Currently in March, 20 and 14 for plus 5.6 units in March. So January, we know we had February. January was a down month. February, we made up for it. March, we're looking to make a little bit of profit there as well. And look, if I can give out a free play here on the show every day and then, get out the rest of the plays and everyone's positive units there, then that's what we're looking to do. So that's where we are currently with 1.25 units pending on our college basketball conference championship winners there. And then once we get Selection Sunday out of the way and get into really, what's going to be going on for the tournament, we'll find we'll give out 4 teams to win the national championship. Probably the same thing, 0.25 units on it there. See if we can, kind of really narrow it down, find some value with those 4, and see if we, can make a run there. Look, there's already a few or maybe a couple in mind that we're eyeing, just going to be kind of depending on where the matchups line up, where the seeding is and all that. So, we're just, super excited that college basketball, this is the best time. Unfortunately, it's only going to last a couple more weeks, but let's make the best of it. So yesterday, Wake Forest +3 there. They win straight up. Nice little win there. Siena +3.5. Again, another straight up winner there. They go on as well to win their conference. And then Oklahoma State money line, that was +113 there. So a little bit of extra money that we're getting on that one. So 3-0 yesterday there with those picks. On to today. Already some great action going on. Just Iowa State, they look dangerous. I know that's Arizona State, so it's not saying a lot, but only holding them to 42 points. That's impressive. Kentucky barely squeaking by with the win there. Iowa taking care of business against Maryland. Pittsburgh, we know that one against Stanford was just kind of, a fluke. St. Bonaventure ran over LaSalle there. And, Washington takes care of business against USC. Louisville against SMU there, they handle business, don't cover, but they do win there. And then Auburn looks pretty good against Mississippi State. The rest, UCF, nice win there. Nice comeback. I was watching that one just a while ago. They were down 8 with 3 minutes to go and made that run, took the lead, went to overtime, and really just kind of did not look back there. So nice win by UCF there. Currently, Providence Butler's going on. That one's almost finished. McNeese State and SFA. I was thinking of Stephen F. Austin, but just didn't have it in me to pull the trigger on that one. The reason being McNeese State is just so good from the free throw line. I want to check right now where they're at. 6 for 6 from free throws. Stephen F. Austin as well is pretty good, 9 for 10. But the threes, I mean, McNeese State just killing it from threes, 54% compared to Stephen F. Austin, only 17%. They're shooting only 2 for 12. So Stephen F. Austin, maybe nice to get him right now live just for the points. Somewhere like that, if we're looking at Profit X, use code Paul Rami. Let's just check and see what that live line looks like. McNeese State and Stephen F. Austin. So Stephen F. Austin plus, we can get a plus 14.5 right now, minus 112. That's not a bad look. We're not going to take that one. But that, I mean, if you're, feeling like getting some action right now before the show ends, then there you go. Take that one, Stephen F. Austin, plus 14.5. Also using Kalshi as well. Kalshi, same thing. Use code Paul Rami there. Get you free $10 on that one. Just kind of curious what that line is looking like on Kalshi. Stephen F. Austin plus 13.5 and minus 105. So a little less juice there. You could probably move that to a 14.5, somewhere around that range, and pay a little bit more of that juice. Looking like 16.5 minus 178. Now we'll pass on that one. So Profit X looks to probably have the best line on that one if you're looking to get something live. On to today's games. Oregon State, Morgan State just tipped off. Not going to really matter there. Xavier Marquette tips off in about 20 minutes. Again, I'm not a fan of either of these teams. I've been saying it all season. Xavier is not a good team. This was a transition period. Marquette just not believing in that team anymore, especially the way the kind of game is changing and Marquette is failing to change with it. Neither team to me really looks enticing. This is one of those I would just take the points with the underdog point, the plus 4.5. Xavier, I'm not going to be laying points with either of these teams. So if you really want to get some action involved and get in here in the next 30 minutes, I'd go Xavier plus the points there. Missouri State, Liberty. I mean, Liberty there should be able to handle business. 5.5 point favorite there against Missouri State. I know these two played, I remember, pretty recently. Yeah, about February 7th. Missouri State was down bad against Liberty. They came back. I remember I live bet that one. They actually came back. They were down pretty big and lost by 3 there. I don't see the same happening here. I think Liberty handles business here against Missouri State and covers that 5.5 number there. Northwestern Indiana. Indiana's really going to need to have a pretty solid conference tournament here if they want really to get anything done. Indiana's going to need to do something. Looking into the other ones, Cal and Florida State, we're in the ACC now. Florida State laying the 3.5. I'm liking this Florida State team. I think they're just kind of on the right path right now. They've been shooting better as of late. I would lean Florida State here for this one. I just don't quite like the 3.5. I wish we were getting more of a 1.5, maybe a 2. I don't even know if I would take 2.5 there. But Florida State, I mean, they took care of Cal earlier in the season, 63-61. It seems like it's going to be one of those kind of games as well where it's going to be pretty tight. Again, I would lean Florida State here. Don't know if I quite love the number at the 3.5. Ole Miss, Texas. Not a fan of Texas right now, especially laying that 6.5. Really, that's kind of the way these conference tournament games go. It's tough to lay points with these teams. You're seeing a lot of underdogs cover these numbers. So really, especially in this type of set in these tournaments, and I would just lean more underdogs a lot of times for these. Going into the Big 12 there, BYU, West Virginia. BYU laying at 3.5 against West Virginia. I mean, they should be able to cover that. But again, I'm not too sure the way BYU is playing. I know they had a nice win there against K-State. West Virginia, they've been kind of struggling as of late. They picked it up a little bit to end of the season, but still have kind of had their struggles. I would probably lean BYU on this one, but I don't know if, again, that would be anything I'd really have too much interest in getting involved in. We're not going to talk about the WAC, the SWAC, neither of those. Big East, Georgetown, and DePaul. DePaul laying the 1.5 point there. That's kind of interesting one there for DePaul. Fresno State, Colorado State. Colorado State laying the 6.5 again. Look, I don't want to lay points. Colorado State is not good defensively. We know they can score. If it's one of those nights where Fresno State's just putting up points and Colorado State can't defend, Fresno's going to cover that 6.5. So I'd just be careful laying more than that 6.5 number, or even that 6.5 number with Colorado State. Cal Poly, UC San Diego, first round. Yeah, going to pass on that one. Looking at the Big Ten, I mean, sure, Rutgers, Minnesota. Rutgers has played slightly, let's be careful, slightly better recently. Not much, just slightly. I mean, they played well against Michigan State. They beat Maryland, right? They already had a loss there against Minnesota, who just kind of blew them out there. And I believe Minnesota that game just shot ridiculous. They lost 80-61. Yeah, Minnesota hit 58% from three, 15 for 26. I mean, really, what are you going to do when they're shooting like that and shooting 60% field goal percentage? You can't stop that. It was just one of those nights that Minnesota was having. I would take Rutgers here plus 6.5 for this one. If you're feeling like taking a little bit more of a risk there, money line is nice. It's around a 215. That would be a fun one to take here. Injury-wise, I don't think, looking at it right now, Rutgers has anything that's really going to make them or break them right here. Minnesota either. It looks like Jalen Crocker-Johnson. He's still not good to go. So I would lean Rutgers here for this one. That 6.5 is just too many. I would lean Rutgers here plus 6.5. There's a few other ones. The ACC, of course, Wake Forest, Clemson. Look, I would continue to ride Wake Forest as long as Kalmesi's back. It looks like he's back. Yesterday he played. I want to double check. Yeah, he's back. He's good to go. Yesterday, coming off the bench, 10 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists. Nice contribution there. But the team, that's the thing. This Wake Forest team, they had 7 guys in double figure scoring. They're moving the ball around really well, Wake Forest is. Clemson, they're very good defensively, but when you get a team like Wake Forest where any guy can shoot and they're assisting really well, it's tough to defend that. So Clemson here, I mean, yeah, they're a solid team. They haven't, performed that well. They just lost to Wake Forest 85-77 mid-February there. I'd be careful here. I would probably lean Wake Forest on this one to cover that number. Oklahoma State, TCU, probably going to pass on that one. San Jose State, no interest in getting involved with San Jose State against Boise State there. And then that's really it for tonight. So if you got over on SportBet Extra, you signed up, even if you got the free day trial, even if you didn't sign up, you at least got the beginning right up there. You can go see it for free. You don't even need to get a trial for the Big East champion there. That wouldn't have is UConn. That's the only one that we have that's a favorite, right? At plus 104 we got for UConn to win the Big East. We were close to being on St. John's, but just felt like this is the spot for UConn. I know there's a lot going on. Dan Hurley, of course, being the way he's it's UConn to just kind of make a run here, get hot going into the tournament. So UConn, we took them to win the Big East at plus 104. The rest of it, got to go over to sportbetextra.com. We're at nothing less than a plus 600 for the other 4 guys. For the other 4 picks that we've got, the lowest one we've got is plus 669 to win the tournament. A couple of them we got in the plus 1150, plus 1500, somewhere around that range. I'll give you one that we got right now. This one is the longest shot out of the conference champions that we have picked here. But that one that we do have picked And again, it's going to need a lot of help, especially with it being announced that one of the players there is not going to be in for the conference tournament, looking to be back for the regular tournament. That's Louisville. Louisville, we got plus 1566 to win the ACC conference tournament there. Currently on Kalshi, that number is down. I want to double check exactly what it is. That number is down to plus 1011, so about 10 to 1. So we got about 500, about $5 worth of value on that pick already. Again, plus 1566 down to plus 1011. I'll give that one out. Why not? That one's already started. Louisville took care of business against SMU. You saw they struggled again with no Mikael Brown. That's going to be tough. That's why this was the longest shot for one of the winners that we have there. Look, I know Duke is the big, overwhelming favorite. There's a chance they slip up here. So we're taking a flyer there with Louisville to win the ACC Conference Tournament champion, plus 1566 there for 0.25 units. So, hey, if we win that one, that'll be a nice, a nice little, what is that for? It's about 4 units off a quarter unit, right? Would love to see that. So that's one of them. Let's get to the rest of today's games and give out a free pick for today's. I'm not loving anything in the NBA. I don't even know if I want to get started about the Bam Adebayo stuff. 83 points. I went back and watched the rest of that game, the fourth quarter. I mean, 83 points. That's an accomplishment, man. 83 points in a single game. That's huge. That is definitely deserves credit for that. Just it happened though. The Heat team fouling right away just so they can get Bam the ball. All the fouls they called, just trying to force feed him. It was just like a show there for the last 5-6 minutes of that game. They weren't playing basketball, so it's a little watered down, that 83 points. Yeah, he got it. That's great. It's going to go in the record book. But look, man, it's when you think about it, it's not that impressive when you're shooting 40-something free throws. I mean, you're just it's crazy. So anyways, looking at the NBA games, Cavs at Magic. Cavs laying the 3.5 there against the Magic. Probably going to pass on that one. I would lean Magic here, and I would lean money line on them. I know no Franz Wagner, no Anthony Black. That's fine. I would still just lean the Magic on this game here. Just kind of feels like one of those spots, man, where they take care of business. They had a nice win against the Bucks. Nice win against the Timberwolves. Don't worry about the Mavericks' win. Don't put too much in that. So they've been playing well the last 4 games there since those losses to the Rockets and the Pistons. So I would lean them here back at home against the Cavs. I would lean Magic here for this one. I know Cleveland has played well. They look a little bit better with Harden there. I mean, Clippers look better with Darius Garland. It's just crazy what swapping out one player can do. But both teams look to have benefited, which we were on the Clippers the other day on the 9th there yesterday. Sorry, not yesterday, day before. Clippers plus 2.5. That was a winner there. We were on that one. But Cleveland right now, yeah, they're a solid team. I just feel like this is a spot for Orlando here to win. Again, if you want to take the plus 3.5, that's great. I mean, I would just go money line straight on Magic here for this game. Raptors at Pelicans. Don't want to get involved with that one too much. Raptors laying a small number, minus 2.5. It should be a higher number than that. So it makes me kind of hesitant on picking that one. Knicks at Jazz. Knicks 14.5. I mean, it's tough to lay 14.5, but it makes sense against the Jazz, who just are tanking. Rockets at the Nuggets. Nuggets laying to 7.5. That's a pretty big number there. I would lean Rockets, but not confidently. They've been playing mediocre as of late. Some terrible losses, some decent wins. So it's really tough. This is one of those teams right now. What are you going to get each night? We don't really know. So we don't want to get too involved with the team like that. Hornets at the Kings, not going to be on that one either. And then Timberwolves at Clippers. I would lean Clippers again. I think this team just plays a lot better. They look like a better team now without Harden, with Kawhi being able to be the man, and then Darius Garland playing that role of his backup and just kind of getting in there. Look, they play well together. Kawhi Leonard and James Harden didn't play quite well together, but Darius Garland and Kawhi Leonard, they play a lot better together. I would lean Clippers here on this one. Laying the 1.5, I would lay it there, and I would just kind of be on that one. So that's why I would go for NBA if we're looking to get involved there. But for tonight's free pick, let's get into that one. We're almost out of time. Just kind of been rambling on here. Just really excited about college basketball and all the conference tournaments. Let's go back into college basketball. See what type of line we're getting here. It's a team that they've been playing a little bit better as of late. The record doesn't show it, but we're going to go Rutgers here and see what type of number we're getting on Profit X. Looking to see if we can get a 6.5, maybe a 7, kind of see what that number is. But we're going to go Rutgers. Let me go through, again, money line. If you really are feeling risky and want to take a gamble, go for it. We're going Rutgers plus 6.5. Yeah, we got 6.5 minus 107. So Rutgers plus 6.5 minus 107. That's going to be the free play for tonight. So let's get that one locked in. Rutgers plus 6.5 minus 107 on Profit X. Go sign up. Use code Paul Rami. Best odds there. Really just some of the most best odds because you're not worried about a house. You're just betting against other people. It's a predictions market. So go to Profit X, sign up, use code Paul Rami. They'll get you 20% up to $100. We're going Rutgers plus 6.5 tonight, minus 107. That's the play. Louisville to win the ACC conference tournament. Go to sportbetextra.com, go get your free trial, then sign up for another week, 1 month, 3 months. Look, MLB is coming up. We love betting MLB. We love the analytics in MLB, the spots as well. So can't really wait for MLB to start. NBA, we do as well. Again, we've got our NBA betting strategy, and we just kind of go through and pick and choose what we're going on picking on the NBA once college basketball starts. Tonight, though, again, Rutgers plus 6.5. Good luck. I will see you all tomorrow. Have a